Welcome to Realtor Talk, which is sponsored by the Greater Pocatello Association of Realtors. Today we'll be talking about selling and staging your home for selling in the spring and summer. With me today I have Randy Stewart, a certified professional home inspector with inspection protection and builder-owner of wood construction. And I also have Gary Adamson, landscape and horticulture specialist with Town and Country Gardens. I'm Teresa Velasquez, realtor with ERA The Brokerage. Well, spring is in the air. Today we'll be talking about preparing and staging your home for selling in the spring and summer. Many of the ideas and suggestions that we'll discuss today will be appropriate for any time that you're selling your home, but inventory almost always rises in the spring, as homes typically show better when we're able to open them up to the outside air and things green up with beautiful landscaping around our homes. The condition of your home and its curb appeal will greatly affect showings and ultimately the sales price of your home. Gary, I'm happy to have you with us today and having your expertise here in the landscape end of things. As sellers are anxious to be able to put their home on the market with the least amount of money put into that and wanting it to show the best, what would you say would be a number one cost-effective item to helping the curb appeal of a home?
All of those basic maintenance yard chores, making sure the lawn is mowed, proper watering. If you have tree and shrub beds in the yard, make sure they're properly weeded, and all of the plant material groomed. I mean, that alone, even without even spending any money, will just work wonders to improve the curb appeal for your yard.
What are some of the things that they can spend a little bit of money on that will help green it up a little better if they're just coming out of the dreary winter?
One, staging. Staging some gallon-size annuals or perennials in the yard will give you instant color and instant plant size, and a fresh layer of bark just over a bare spot or around the shrubs will just work wonders to give that yard a fresh look.
Okay. Speaking of the maintenance on the outside, Randy, as you inspect homes, what are some of the deferred maintenance items that you typically see show up on a home inspection on the exterior of the home?
Well, as a home inspector, we're not necessarily looking for how pretty a house is, but I can surely see a difference in a home that's been well maintained. I'm, of course, looking for if you have trees and shrubs that are rubbing against the siding or the edge of a roof that may cause some damage, trimming those trees will not only protect the home, but it will open up the view of the home and let it show nicer. And then, of course, if there has been any damage or peeling paint, those are inexpensive to repair and will really spruce up a home. We're, of course, looking at things like making sure the rain gutters are clear, no shingles are missing. And then I always judge a home a little bit by first impressions. As I walk up to that home, what condition is that front step in? You know, if you've got a torn carpet on the step that may be a trip hazard or something like that, that hasn't been taken care of, I judge that home on how well it's been maintained. Also the front door. I mean, painting and making sure your front door operates very nicely, that's quite important, because that's the first thing people see as they approach that home, is that front door and front porch area. So I always look at those. As I go around the home, I try and judge on yard drainage and make sure that the water's drained away from the home, there's not sprinklers hitting the side of the house and water staining it. And then, of course, when you get around to the backyard, I always look at the patio and the deck. Decks are kind of important. They seem to be a maintenance item that sometimes can get neglected. You want to make sure that your railings and your steps and the condition of that deck, I think, is quite important.
And decks can really be a showcase when you're selling your home in the summer and spring. It's a fun area to be able to stage. I would suggest putting out an appropriate sized patio set and maybe throw out a bright colored tablecloth or some placemats, and when you know you're going to be having a showing of your home, put out a nice pitcher full of ice cold lemonade, and it really helps people be able to picture sitting out on their deck or patio enjoying that open air of their home. It would make a nice impression. I think, Gary, you probably got some good suggestions on staging and bringing color to that deck or patio as well.
Large planter pots are always a very good idea. They just put on an instant display of color, and you have an instant flower display right there on the deck. Hanging baskets are always very showy, and you can also take them with you when you finally do move, and so it's money that you spend that will go with you when you finally leave.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Color really does sell in the spring and the summer. Can you share a few other ideas that would bring color to the rest of the exterior of the home?
5 and 10 gallon size potted flowering trees, if you're moving in the spring when crab apples and other flowering trees are in bloom, they can be set up right next to the house as temporary landscaping ideas and just to add some color to the yard, not just the deck.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we've talked a lot about the exterior of our homes. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be taking it inside and talking about the interior of our homes.